Welcome back. In this episode of Sailing Puffin, I go back to the summer of 2020 and show you how I fixed the port lights. The one positive about going over the footage from 6 months ago is that it's given me a chance to see what difference I've made to the boat so far. So 6 months ago when I first got the boat, I could definitely see that the port lights were leaking. When I entered the boat, I could see the forests that were growing on the framework. And if that wasn't a good enough sign, watching the water pouring in after I've cleaned the deck and after some rain showers, they definitely had completely failed. I knew I had other leaks to take care of, but I started with the port lights. The port lights were a wooden frame screwed into the fiberglass from the inside, with the acrylic screwed through the fiberglass into the wood from the outside. Although not at first apparent, I presumed this design was to allow one person to fix or repair the port lights. My first job was to remove the acrylic and disassemble the frame to see what I had to work with. Straight away I realised I was in trouble. The acrylic was held in with many screws. The majority of the screws were stainless steel, but I say majority, not all of them were, and the ones that weren't were rusted solid. So the only thing for it was to get the drill out. Once I removed all the screws, the acrylic literally fell off. So I took that away and scrubbed that down. Next was the wooden frame to which the acrylic screwed into, and that was the same situation where some of them were stainless steel screws and some of them weren't. Now finally I managed to get the wooden frame off, but there were so many screws still stuck into the fiberglass, and that took me hours of persuasion. Once I had the wooden frame off, I gave it a look over and decided not to use that. I took the frame back to my workshop and tried to replicate it, but like a lot of the interior build on this boat, it was done to a really good standard, and with my limited tools and wood, I just could not replicate it, so I resorted to making a simple plywood frame for now. So now I had a wooden frame and clean fiberglass. It's time to get it clamped down and get it screwed into the fiberglass. As you may have noticed, I didn't use any kind of glue or any kind of bonding agent or any epoxy, because this wasn't going to be a permanent fix. So once the wooden frame was attached, I drilled guide holes for all the screws for the acrylic and test fitted the acrylic to the wooden frame to make sure it's all neat and tidy. Once I was happy with the fit, next was to tape everything off. Taping everything off is essential if you want to have a nice neat looking window. So once it's all taped up, I've removed the acrylic again, but just one little tip: don't place it somewhere where you will sit on it. I managed to use the Dow 799, which I'm using to bed the windows, to fix the crack. So after that little mishap, it's back to fitting the windows. Before gluing, I sanded the edges with some 180 grit sandpaper. I then washed it all clean and wiped it all down with acetone. Next, I applied a generous amount of Dow 799 around the frame. I did work quick because there is a certain amount of time you have to work with it. I then placed the acrylic back gently and screwed it back in until I had a decent amount of squeeze out all around, and then cleanup was easy due to everything being taped up. So and here's the before and after. I hope you enjoyed watching me doing this temporary repair on the port lights. Next week is a bit fluid. I could be jacking up the boat and doing some other repairs. If not, I have got footage of repairing the hatch, so leave a comment if you want to see that. thank you for watching and see you again soon.